going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another great episode of the Ball to Bowl series, man. At this point, you know what the episode is about. You know what the series is about, so it needs no introduction. Today, I got another guest, you know what I'm saying? This guest I actually met through Instagram. He had a good friend who was on the last episode, Louis. He saw Louis's episode, and the first thing he thought was, I got a story to tell. So he hit our DMs, and we have today my man Rolando. Rolando, aka Big Smooth, as he told me. Rolando, give the people a quick intro, brother.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Rolando Sanchez, aka Big Smooth. Let's see a little bit about myself. Dominican and Salvadorian, born in New York, Queens, New York. So shout out to everybody out in Queens. Raised in Kissimmee, Florida. Now I'm living in San Diego. Been here 7 years. Started my career in Bear not too long ago, selling paint to contractors at a Home Depot. I got a daughter. I got a son on the way coming in March. So, you know, just a lot of blessings coming my way, growing a lot. So, you know, just excited to be here and share my story.
My man. Well, first off, congratulations on your soon-to-be son, man. That's a beautiful thing, man. Congrats to you and the family on that, dog.
Thank you.
So you're a New York native, man. You know what I'm saying? So we got to talk about New York for a second.
Yeah.
So I actually lived in New York for a while, man. I lived in Harlem, you know what I mean? So shout out to everybody in Harlem.
Oh, yeah.
But you left New York and went down to Florida. Quite a change, I would say, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And now you're in Cali. So you've seen, you know, Northeast, Southeast, now you West Side, man.
Yeah.
What would you say of all of these three places that you lived, what would you say is your favorite location, man? What would you say?
I'd say San Diego. You know, the weather, it's kind of perfect. People are spoiled here. You know, I wasn't even supposed to really move out here. I was only coming for 2 weeks, and I got a job right away. Was staying with my uncle, and I was like, I guess I could just sell everything and I'm good. So, you know, that's the whole story in itself. I didn't go back to Florida until 11 months later. It was supposed to be a 2-week trip.
Wow. Wait. So did you bring all your things with you, or like?
I just had like two duffel bags of clothes, right? I was thinking I'm gonna be here for 2 weeks, have a little fun, and you know, just things started rolling in the right direction for me. So I was blessed that way, and you know, now I met my girl here, got my daughter. Pretty much, I'm settled here.
Life is funny like that, man. That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. We love to hear it. We love to hear it. So also you mentioned, man, being from New York. And with that being said, man, I got to start with this.
Yeah.
New York Giants or New York Jets? Do you have a preference?
Everybody's gonna hate me, but I'm a Jets fan.
Oh my God.
You know, I was cheering on Curtis Martin. I don't know. I just never really vibed with the Giants and all the fans. Like, I got friends that love the Giants, and it's always fun. Just, you know, the competition, the rivalry, talking trash. So it's always fun. But I'm gonna go for the Jets.
No doubt. No, y'all got a W last week with Joe Flacco at QB. So man, you can't knock it, man. You can't knock it. Does that also make you a Knicks fan, even though the Nets are now in Brooklyn?
No, I like the Knicks over the Nets. Okay. But I do like the Mets over the Yankees.
Like the Mets over the Yankees. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I know they're not, you know, I don't even want to talk about the record, but
but you know. The Mets Stadium is in Queens. Is that true?
It was Shea Stadium was. I don't know if the Mets Stadium is.
Okay. Because Yankees is in the Bronx, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, for sure. No doubt. So in all this conversation about the city, bro, I gotta ask you, like, you know, our favorite question to ask on this podcast is about the concept of home, right? Home means a lot of things to different people, man.
Yeah.
So when you hear the word home, what does that bring up to you? What memories, et cetera, does that bring up to you, family?
Man, it's a lot. I mean, I've been in, you know, 3/4 of the country, so the main memories that come to me is my mom's cooking, right? She's Dominican. She's the one who was always cooking. You got, especially like Christmas time, Thanksgiving, you got perniz, you got empanadas, the rice, the moro, everything. So like, home is where the food is, because I feel like those two things just go together.
Love it, man. No doubt.
Yeah, thank you.
So, bro, man, we could talk all day about food, family, and sports, but the people hate for one reason and one reason only.
Right.
So I want to take us to our feature presentation, dog. So we see you today rocking that bald head, killing it with a crazy dope beard as well. And we know it's very clear why they call you Big Smooth. It's very clear, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no question about it. But
appreciate that.
we know you wasn't always like this, family. We know if we take it back, we know you got a story to tell. And as you hit me up and said, hey, man, I got a story to tell. So Rolando, bro, take us back a little bit, whatever you can remember, man. Middle school, high school, etc. And let's start the beginning of your story. Walk me through it, dog.
For sure. So, I mean, I wasn't always bald. This was a work in progress. Where it started off really was I'd say high school. Pretty much all my life I had curly hair, I had fade going. I had like
hair natural, or just like
I had like curly hair at the top, had like a fade at the side. Not like how the kids rock it today with the long curls. I had like the short curls with like a fade. That's usually the look I went with. I had a beard since an early age, so I'd always like tape it up, line it up.
But was it always this thick though, bro? Was it pretty thick?
I used to line it up, so it was like a little line, chin strap type of beard. And then, you know, as time progressed, it kind of evolved into this. But you know, I was always styling my hair, wake up early, shower, gel it. I had like natural highlights in my hair just because we're in Florida. We were always outside playing. The sun like dyed my hair like blondish. So like I had like highlights in my hair. Yeah. I remember one time we were I volunteered to like go to like an old folks home, and this old lady was like hitting on me because she was like, "You remind me of my husband. He's a tennis player and he had highlights in his hair. You look just like him." I was like, "Okay, grandma." Thank you. But you know, I loved my hair. Like I never got a chance to grow it out. A lot of my friends, my brother, everybody was like, you know, during the like early 2000s, it was cool to have braids and like have long hair. So I never took that opportunity. I was like, I don't like long hair because I like to just keep it short and tight. Yeah. So I never got that opportunity. And then once I got to high school, you know, like I'd say probably 11th grade, 12th grade, that's where I started like losing my hair and noticing a little bit.
Slow down, Rolando, slow down. I got a question. Before we get to that part, I got a question.
Okay.
You mentioned to me just now, you had the tight look, the curls, the lineup. Couple questions, bro. How often were you going to the barbershop, family? How often were you getting it tightened up?
I'm not a big barbershop guy, so like every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, okay.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned that you loved your hair, like you thought it was stylish and you felt like that was part of your personality. Talk to me about like, now that you're bald, if you had to reflect on what your hair meant to you back then, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, like you said, it was part of my personality. I was a shy kid, so I didn't really talk much. So I really like cared about my looks just because I knew people were looking at me, not really hearing me. I'm a big dude, so people are gonna see me. Like, I like to take care of myself, look presentable, professional if I can. So yeah, my hair was part of the look. Like, you know, my beard, I shape it up myself, but then I'd go to the barbershop, get that done. But my hair, you know, I always put gel in it, and you know, they got the whole routine with the shampoo, the conditioner, making sure it's good and ready to go.
No doubt. Yeah. Would you say people also knew you for your hair? You told me about the older woman who gave you the compliment, but would you say like other women, other guys like knew you, like, keep the tight cut? Like, was that a thing?
Not really. I mean, like I said, I was a shy dude, so I don't really, you know, put myself out there, but I felt like it was part of me, who I was, and you know, I felt like that's how people saw me, right? They saw the tall guy with the fade and the little pencil strap beard. You know, they'll at least know me, recognize me, and but no one ever was like, "Oh, you got the hottest fade on the block," nothing like that. No, I was more reserved.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
So you got to, you said it was high school, 11th grade, I think you said.
Yeah.
And something crazy happened. Talk to me about this, family.
Yeah, like 11th and 12th grade, I started losing my hair. I don't know why or how. You know, I talked to my dad about it, and he was like, "It's because you shower, you shower with the water too hot, or you put all that gel in your hair." And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know the science behind that, but that's what he said. And it was affecting me. I mean, as someone who took care of themselves and like, not that my hair is all that mattered, but it matters, part of the look. It definitely started affecting me like even more, my confidence and everything. I was already
Yeah.
shy, so it just kind of brought me down a little bit. And then
So,
just trying
Rolando,
everything. Uh-huh.
question for you. Where did you notice? Was it hairline? Was it thin and
Um,
hair? Tell me more.
Yeah, so pretty much my hairline, it was I was going to a barber shop and it's just kind of going further back and further back. And then
Is it your barber saying something, or is it just you noticing? Or did y'all have that
just
conversation?
no, the barber never said nothing. They would just line me up. And it was just me and myself noticing. I'm like, I don't know. I would be thinking it was him who's messing up, but then my hair wouldn't grow back. And then I would be noticing like, okay, the hairline's not growing back. So I don't think it's a barber. And then I could like feel the thinness at the top. Because when you got curls, it's like a little bit more like more matted, I guess you could say. And so it starts thinning out. You start noticing. And then yeah, other people like friends and close like family, they would be making kind of jokes like you're talking trash with your boys. They're gonna point it out to you. They find any little flaw, they're gonna point it out.
So, bro, man, this is interesting because one, so my journey was a little bit different and a little bit similar because my hairline actually stayed intact for a long time. I just started thinning hair, right? So I was just trying to like hide this part from people. I would wear a hat. I was doing everything I could, but my hairline was intact. So like, if you were shorter than me and I was walking around, you had no clue that I was short, right? It was just though, like if you were taller than me, or if I was
Yeah.
sitting down and you walked by, you
Uh,
could see it.
yeah.
But to your point about the curls, bro, I went through a little era where I kind of grew my hair out and kind of curled up a little bit. It wasn't like
Yeah.
high. It might have been like this high, but it was curled up. And
Yeah.
but when you're thinning, bro, and you're like you're trying to grow it out, wherever it's like thick, it looks great. But where the curls are at, where it's thinning, it looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
And that's when I first noticed it myself, bro. And I was, man, when I tell you, I was like, it felt like somebody like to stab me, bro. I seen it on a Facebook picture. It was for the
Yeah.
New Year's Eve party, and one of my boys was taking pictures at the pregame we threw at this hotel. A couple
Yeah.
days later, he posted an album on Facebook, and I'm looking through the pics, I'm trying to tag myself, get jiggy, and I'm looking through the pics, and I see one, and it's like he was like standing on the couch taking pics,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yo, who is? Because you can't see the person's face, all you can see the back of their head, and they like jacket. So dog, I'm looking at it like, yo, who is that? It looks horrible. And I'm like, that's crazy. And I keep looking and I look at the blazer and I'm like, well, I immediately hit my boy, I'm like, take this down, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so
I
I
had
know
those moments. I had those moments too. You're in the background, or someone just takes a wrong angle, and now you got to get that picture off the internet, or it's there forever. You don't want to be tagged in nothing. Might as well delete your Facebook.
So, bro, man, okay. So you notice it and you're losing it here and here. So, it's kind of like the double whammy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you get the jokes from the homies. Tell me how you're dealing with those jokes, right? Like, are you good on your feet? You said you're kind of shy. So did you have good jokes to go back? Or were you just have to kind of like take them? What was that like?
A little bit of both. Sometimes I've had, dirt on them. Other times I'm like, yeah, I mean, what can I do? I was just kind of like, I just shut up and take my licks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Was family? I know you said you asked your dad about it, and he was saying like, it had something to do with the water being too hot. What about anybody else in your fam? Did they notice? What were they saying?
I mean, my mom would notice, but she wasn't really chiming in because she had all her hair, so she never dealt with it. But so she was trying to like comfort me, like, oh, sometimes it skips a generation, or because I'd ask like, how come my dad has his hair, but I'm the one losing it? And then she's like, sometimes it skips a generation, or some of the other myths that you hear around. But I'm like, okay, I mean, she's just trying to comfort me, but the thing is, my little brother, he still has his hair. And my younger brother, he's also losing his hair too. So it's kind of weird. Like two of us are losing it, but one, he's keeping it. The difference is he doesn't have a beard, but me and my brother do. So it's like, we're
No.
trading.
So let's talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up, homie, because
Yeah.
it's been a couple episodes, and even just in real life, people will talk about like, yo, for my situation, my beard never came in thick until I went bald. Like when I had hair, I had no beard, and then
Yeah.
as I started like losing it, all of a sudden my beard came in. And like there's this, I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of people will be like, yo, no one man should have all that power. Then you can get the beard, you're gonna take the line up. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
do
my
you,
God.
do you believe that's true?
I know. Sometimes I'll be looking on Instagram. I see some of these guys. They got the beard and the hair, and I'm like, damn, yo, how'd you get so lucky? But I'm glad I got the look I got. Like, obviously, it's a progress and whatnot. Going back to like, now I'm kind of like in college. I'm like trying to do different things. Still got the beard. It's starting to grow in a little bit thicker, losing more of my hair. And I'm like, I started wearing hats, and I even started doing the comb forward and like letting it grow at the top, shaving the sides a little bit more. And just trying to hide it because, I'm in college now. I'm getting out there. I'm partying more. I'm was joining a fraternity. So I wanted, people to notice me. And just when you're losing your hair and you're not, solid in your foundation of who you are, and you're still trying to learn who you are, like any little thing is going to kind of throw you off. So I was trying everything under the sun to hide it. I didn't go as far as tinting my hair or, coloring myself in, but it's hard not to.
Yeah. Let's talk about that, bro, man, because you get to a good point about being in college, right? Like college is definitely a
Yeah.
time where many of us are like really trying to find ourselves or really getting into our bag and understanding who we are, especially on the college campus. Like you kind of, you kind of want to be somebody. There's like thousands of kids around. You want to be somebody on campus, somebody who people know. You want to have a reputation, but when you are dealing with this internal thing, right? Because a lot of the times when guys are going through hair loss, we're beating ourselves up internally. We don't necessarily know what people externally are saying, except maybe because your friends were like vocalizing, but like everybody else may not say anything to you. So it's this like internal battle, but it's probably a lot tougher when you're trying to find yourself on campus too. So like, tell me how you dealt with that, man. Was it just a constant like affirmations thing? Like, nah, bro, you got it. Or were the hats enough? Were you able to like, how were you able to keep yourself kind of like confident in that time, bro?
Yeah, I mean, the hats help for sure. Just trying to hide it, feeling comfortable with myself and how it looked. Was also doing like crazy designs on my beard just because one of my friends was a barber, or like he knew how to do lineups. So I do something crazy with my beard. I did like zigzags, like swirls, just something to kind of stand out, bring the attention from the top of my head to the bottom of my face. So emotionally I was, it's tough, especially if someone makes a joke, it kind of ruins the day. You're like, damn, if they notice, how many other people notice, right? Because these are the people that are actually telling you. Other people, they'll just, maybe you don't have that connection with them. They're not going to tell you like you're losing your hair. So it just kind of brings down your confidence once you're actually out and about and talking to people.
Yes. So question, bro. One of my moments. So I actually didn't start losing my hair until, well, it was thinning a little bit in college, but not enough where like I was worried or where like anybody could notice. It really progressed after school. But you were losing it in school. So let me ask you about this. Was there any situations in school? Because like a lot of like clubs or stuff like that, they'd be like, yo, no hats in the club, no hats in the club. You got anything to tell me about? Because I could tell you about plenty of situations when I was going up to the club, the bouncer saying no hats, and I'm like, I'm ready to melt at the door because I don't know what I'm gonna do. Were there any situations like that during your hair loss journey when you?
I mean, it's early 2000s, and hats. Some clubs would let you in with hats, other clubs wouldn't. Like the nicer clubs wouldn't. So when you go to a nicer club, you can't wear a hat. It's like, shit, I gotta figure this out, and you're kind of on the spot. So I always try to make like the party nights are Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I always knew like, I gotta either get my hair cut done or do something, be prepared. So that was the biggest thing. It's just being prepared, knowing what's coming. Obviously, you're in college, you're gonna go out, you're gonna go party. So get your haircut done. That's what I did. So I would get like a zero on the side and keep it like higher at the top so it looked fuller. That way, if that ever did happen, at least I know I did the best I could. And it's dark in there, so.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, bro, man. So you're going through college, you're kind of finessing your way through with the hats, the dope deer lines and everything. Now tell me about, did you make it through all the way through college with the hair, or what's up?
Yeah, so it's getting towards the end of like college years. Like I went to school for 5 years, so super senior. So like around my 4th, 5th year, I was like, I'm tired of trying to keep up a front. I'm gonna just trim it down to 0 and just let it go. Like I'm just going to 0 and that's it. Like I'm older now. I've done some things. I turned 21. I've had my fun. Like now I kind of got to be more serious. Can't be trying to do all these crazy beard designs. Can't be wearing hats everywhere. So just kind of realized like this is the path I'm going. So I just might as well embrace it. And I mean, I felt like it's better than trying to hide, you losing your hair. That it looks better rather than it looks like you do it on purpose, right? So it looks like, this is something you want yourself. And, it just felt like the perception was better, at least for myself. I'm like, I'm the one choosing this. It's my choice. I'm just going to get rid of it.
Taking control, no doubt. Yep. So Rolando, was before you because it sounds like you got your head mentally prepared for it, before you actually did it, did you have some other like friends or homies in your circle that were bald that you could highlight? Like, yo, I'm about to do this, like, or were you kind of just, it's just me and I got to figure it out?
No, not like none of my. I got a friend now who's like losing his hair, and I try to be nice about it, but no, like no one else was losing their hair. It was just me. I was the only one losing my hair, and I didn't have anyone to turn to. Like I said, my dad was telling me it was my fault because I used to use all the gel and take hot showers. But no one else was bald. Like no one else in my family was bald that I knew. Everybody, and there was people who kept short hair, but it wasn't like they were losing their, they still had like a line up and everything, or like a hairline. So that was kind of tough. I kind of had to go through it myself and just figure it out, build the confidence myself, and just make that decision.
That's what's up, man. So that's powerful, bro, because I think I talked to so many men on the podcast, and like you'll get guys who had the easier transition because they had people in their circle, right? Because they knew somebody to be like, yo, just do X, Y, and Z. You could be able to like make the transition. Or they just had somebody that was close enough to them that they see rocking the ball, confident with it, right? So it's like, yo, if your guy is doing it, you're like, my man's is doing it, I'm going to be good. You know what I'm saying? But similar to you, I had nobody in my circle. Like all my dogs, they were the one giving me jokes. They were the ones telling me to come home. Like, bro, stop come home. So personally for me, like I ended up dealing with hair loss for almost 3.5, 4 years before I finally was like, yo, I can't do anything else. I tried Rogaine, it didn't work for me. The other drug was called finasteride. But my doctor, before they gave it to my doctor, was like, yo, just FYI, you might have erectile dysfunction, it might mess up your sex drive, etc. And I'm like, I'm doing the math in my head, like, the math is not adding up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna deal with that. So I got not to take that drug. But I finally got to the point, man, and it was, to me, it was solely internal, like, yo, talking myself into it, like, bro, you can do this, and like, me and you were very similar. Like, we came up, liked our hair, like, I had do-rag and the waves, like, it was brushing my hair 24/7. So getting to that point when you're like, you got to say goodbye to something that you knew for 23 years, 22 years, 27 years, and it's not easy. But to your point, you got to build up your own confidence. You got to just tell yourself it's gonna be okay, man. So you've already decided on it, bro. How did you do it yourself? Did you go to a barbershop? And like, how did you decide the day? Did you like pre-planning, like, yo, next weekend I'm doing it? Or you just wake up one day like, yo, today's the day. How did it work out?
Yeah. I do want to talk about Rogaine and all that. Just
Oh yeah, let's get
you
into it.
mentioned it. I never tried it, and it was one of those reasons. I think it was like a comedian was talking about like, oh, I think the joke was something around like, oh, I woke up this morning, I was bald, I put on some Rogaine, and I got these long dreadlocks. But you know, I don't. Can I curse out here? Can I say anything bad? Bleep it out. He's like, now my dick don't work.
What did he say?
He's like, now my dick don't work. And I was like, I can't. And I saw that as a kid. So, you know, that kind of stuck with me. And as an adult, I'm like, oh, I can't use Rogaine now. I gotta take care of certain parts of myself.
That's funny. He said, I was losing my hair. Now I got dreadlocks.
Yeah. So it was a good joke, but it kind of like, you know, internalized it for me, like, don't use Rogaine. But and when it came to just you know, going zero with the Clippers, it was just like one day. I think I was just, you know, I'm done with it. It's like a lot. It's like when you're lying, right? It's harder to hide the lie than just to be upfront about it. So I was just like, let me just get rid of it. It felt like, you know, weight was lifted off my shoulders. Like I said, it was like I was taking control. Like, it was my decision. I'm doing it. I had short hair before, like when I was a kid, but that was more like my mom made me do it. This is more like I'm doing it and I'm taking control of it. I'm letting it go. I lit a candle. I cried a little. Nah, I just did it, and it's like, all right, this is it. It's the look. Let's do it.
So G, tell me this, man. You cut it down zero with the guard, and you pick up that mirror, you look in that mirror for the first time. What's that feeling like? What's that first time you see it look like?
Yeah, it's I was kind of relieved. I had like a, you know, a nice shaped head. I didn't have any like dents or nothing. You know, you got some people with weird looking heads. So I was thankful for that. And you know, I was just like, just accepted it, because it was a lot of work trying to hide it, wearing the hats and like not having the confidence. I felt like I said, the weight was lifted off my shoulder. I got a little bit more confident. I knew I had a nice looking beard by that point, so I could work with that. And yeah, after that, it's kind of just moved on. But the thing is, when you're doing the Clippers, your hair grows back a lot faster rather than shaving. So, you know, I would get lazy and I was back to square one, still having that bald look, because I'd let it go for maybe 2 weeks without clipping it. And it was just a bad look for sure.
Yeah, no, man. So a couple of things I got to hit on that you just said.
Yeah.
One, the idea of when you finally accept it, that idea of that the weight is off your shoulders, right? Like, you know, one thing we preach a lot about on the podcast and on the brand is the idea of authenticity, right? And it's tough to be authentic when you're dealing with that, right? Because you are so self-conscious about it, but you're not trying to show the world, right? So it's like internally you're feeling this way, but you're putting on this front, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, and a lot of the times, again, you don't even know if the front is working, right? So that's the big thing. Like, if you knew people couldn't tell or something, then you might be able to like kind of be confident. But like, you're putting on this front, that the hats, the comb over, whatever we're trying to do, and we're not even sure if it's working. So it's like we're honestly in our heads most of the time we're thinking it's not working to be true. Like, people can still see it, they can still notice. So it's this anxiety that builds up, or this embarrassment, or loss of self-confidence that we got to deal with for so long until we're willing to be like, yo, I want to put that behind me. I want to actually, like, you know, take ownership, take control, embrace what I'm dealing with. And at that point, when you take ownership, then it's up to you to really be like, yo, who owns this? Who's the boss now? Right? And when you finally shave that and you come home, you give yourself back that power. And I think that's one of the beautiful things that you just mentioned. And then also, man, you just mentioned my biggest pet peeve about going bald, bro. Like, that shaving, because I always tell dog homies, I was growing up and I used to be at the barbershop when I had my hair, and I would see bald dudes at the barbershop in the chair, sometimes in the chair ahead of me. And I'm looking at bro like, what are you doing, fam? You bought, like, why are you here? Like, you know,
Yeah, taking
not
up time.
realizing like that the maintenance almost picks up once you come home. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
like I remember I went to the barbershop when I got mine done. He shaved me for the first time, and I'm like, I'm trying to get used to it. Like I'm still wearing hats for at least a couple months. I'm trying to get used
yeah,
to it. But I remember the first time having a shave it afterwards. I'm like, yo, wait, I just did this 2, 3 days ago. And that's when it hit me like, yo, yeah, I was losing my hair here, but it was still growing just as fast everywhere
yeah.
else. And that even to today, bro, that is my pet peeve with being bald, having to shave so often, man. So you noticed that. And like you said, to your point, you was lazy with it, and I'm still lazy with it too. I
Yeah.
just shaved my head before this episode because I didn't have a
I
full shave.
shaved recently, but it's already coming back. I'm like, damn, I just did it 2 days ago.
Biggest pet peeve, man. Do you have any other pet peeves of like being bald? Because I have another one I can think of, but I want to know if you have one.
Yeah, me, put on lotion, protect yourself. You know, you go out there in the sun, you got sunburn. Make sure you got some lotion on you. They got, a whole bunch of good smelling lotion. You just put it on your head. You need it. When you got hair, you don't think about it, but when you lose it, you definitely need it on your head. Put on lotion. Lotion your head up.
So you know my other one, bro. It's
What's that?
it's like I don't know if you have it, man, but like I deal with I call them the casual sweats. Like I just might just be walking down, like like even when I was in school, I'd just be walking the campus. And now that I was bald, I'm sweating. And I'm like, why am I sweating? You know what I'm saying? And what I'm thinking like, oh, when I had hair, I used to do the same thing, but my hair would soak it up.
Yeah.
Now, like I don't got no hair, so I'm starting to sweat and it's just dripping down. I'm like, yo. So like I know bald guys that would carry the handkerchief, like, damn.
Yeah.
But that's also something that I never realized until I went bald. I'm like, yo, I'm dealing with this nonsense that like, my hair used to protect me for, you know what I'm saying? So that's my other
That's
pet.
funny. Out here in California, you don't sweat too much, thankfully. It's a good thing about it.
Y'all lucky, man. Y'all lucky that San Diego weather, man.
Yeah.
So my dog, you come home, and you look in the mirror, you're feeling it. You're like, yo, okay, I can work with this. Your shaving regimen we got to work on because you go in 2 weeks. But the first time you step out, right, you see your friends, you see your family. What's their first reaction after you came home?
They were kind of supportive. They were like, okay, it looks good. Like you're not hiding it. You're not trying to pretend that you got hair. Now it's like it looks good. Or like my aunt was telling me, oh, it's a good thing you have she's the one who told me I got a nice shaped head. So everybody was supportive. They were loving the look, and the confidence just grew up from there. Because once your friends are telling you to look good, then everybody else probably thinks it. They're just not saying it.
Talk that talk.
Yeah.
And is this? I could be wrong, bro, but this sounds like it was the birth of Big Smooth. Or were you already Big Smooth before this? Or is this the thing?
I was Big Smooth before, but this kind of like solidified it.
Stamp that for sure, man. Okay, no doubt, no doubt.
I was gonna just add to that. So, when I was using the clippers, I was being lazy. I was working like crazy hours. I'd work from like 2 to 11, then I'd have to come back to work at like 6 a.m. You get like 6 hours in between work, and like you're tired all the time. And let's see, I was just being lazy with my hair, and then I went to a comedy show one time before, and this was like right before I moved to San Diego too, so it kind of like worked out just perfectly. Went to a comedy show. It was this big bald dude. He had a thick beard. He had a hat on, and he was like, he was going through his routine, cracking jokes. Everybody's dying laughing, and out of nowhere, I'm sitting in the back by myself because my friends are kind of like all about. They're trying to get drinks and stuff. But he points at me and he's like, "Yo, my man, I'm gonna tell you this because none of your boys are telling you this. You need to just shave your fucking head because you look like George Costanza right now." In front of the whole crowd, everybody's like kind of like shocked, and then they just start cracking up, and I'm like, what did I do? Like, I'm just chilling here enjoying my beer, laughing. Like, it's not like I was just being like, straight faced, not laughing at his jokes. But he called me out, and I'm like, well, what do you want me to do, man? Like, what's your advice? And he's like, just take a fucking razor and shave it. Just do it. He's like, look at me, I'm bald. You can do it too. And I was like, okay, that shot me up. So, pretty much after the show, went to Walmart, got a razor, and just shaved my head. And then that's when I actually like got down to the shave look. And I was like surprised how my head felt, like, because that was the first time I ever shaved it, like down to the skin. It was like soft and it felt like oily, like it is just a completely different feel from how I ever felt. And then, it's like another coming to Jesus moment. Like I got a bald look and I'm moving to San Diego. I wasn't planning, but I was coming to San Diego. And like my friends were like, yeah, it looks way better. The comedian, he's the one who told me. So it just that's when it became official, and I started like actually shaving down to the skin, like keeping up with it at least more than once every 2 weeks. It's like every couple of days. Sometimes I let it go too long and my girl gets on me.
Do you remember the comedian's name?
I can't remember his name. I did find him on Instagram like years later and send him like a big thank you letter, like because it was just out of nowhere. Like I found his page. I think it's like Dirtbag Entertainment is like the company, but he was being a dirtbag that day. But it's for the better. It helped me out. So I was definitely thankful. I thanked him for everything. He's just like, nah, man, just glad I could help, and I appreciate it. So that's kind of like where it all ended, and now this is the look, and I think it's it.
Dope, man. So one more question, man, before we get into the back half. Well, two more. One, tell me about your shaving routine now, bro. How often are you shaving?
For sure.
How are you moisturizing your scalp? How are you taking care of the look now? Because one thing I learned personally myself, and other podcast guests tell me as well, is like, once I actually shaved my head and came home, my self-care routine kind of picked up or enhanced, right?
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden, instead of just having like the skin on your face to take care of, you got all this extra skin you got to maintain, right? So tell me about like your self-care regimen now with all of this. What does it look like, bro?
Yeah. So for me, myself, like I don't have hair, but I still use like Head and Shoulders to like get rid of any dry skin on my scalp. So like I'll use that. Like if I got hair, I'll just like the little bit of hair I got, right? rub it in real quick, wash it off, then I'll shave, and then I got an electric shaver that I use just to get any kind of like little bit of stragglers or parts you can't reach, because like creases in your head, sometimes you can't get in there. And then I've got like an exfoliating glove, and I use like just body wash to like exfoliate my head, my face. And then if I'm going out to the beach or just going out and about, especially sunny places, just put on some like SPF lotion that they sell at Target. It smells good. I don't know the name of it, but just something to protect me from UV rays and also moisturize my skin.
No doubt, man. We love that. And how often are you shaving, bro?
Probably like every 2 to 3 days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sound about right, man.
It's a lot. I'm a lazy guy when it comes to care sometimes, but it's worth it.
I trust me, we know, man. we just dropped our line of Come Home products, man, scalp care products. So make sure you check it out.
Nice.
The scalp moisturizer actually has a natural ingredient that kind of helps your hair grow slower over time, so you got to shave as often. So
nice.
We're doing our research on the community, man.
There you go. Gotta support it.
You already know. So one more question, going to the back half, family.
Yeah.
So everybody that knows me, bro, everybody that knows me knows that I talk that talk, right? So I talk that talk for the ball community, for my ball brothers. I put us on the map, you know what I'm saying? I know every chance I get, I'm picking this up, And I personally feel that we on the up and up right now. I feel like ball guys, I feel like we kind of elevating right now, you know what I'm saying? And I tell people that all the time. I'm saying like, we kind of the hottest thing out, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I got a lot of women that hit me all the time and be like, I love a ball, man, blah, blah. And I know
we know.
Outside, but again, I'm building a brand for ball, man. So of course I'm gonna say that, right? I might be a little bit biased. So I want to ask you, family, You
Yeah.
out here living, you big smooth, you know what I'm saying, killing it with the ball. I want to see, do you feel like you starting to notice like something like, is there like a renaissance happening where it's like dope to be bald? Like, because I think historically there was like a time frame where like, having hair was considered beauty, like, it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily cool to be bald. But I don't know if it's like it's just social media. I'm just seeing more and more guys embracing it and kind of like, being confident with it, man. Are you seeing that too, bro? Or am I just making this up?
Nah, that's what I'm seeing. I mean, when I came to San Diego, like I was the hot new thing on the block. I got the beard, I got the bald look. I'm going out, I'm having fun, meeting a bunch of different girls. So I think of that's kind of when it started, and now it's kind of like, we're here, we're bald and we're proud, right? I mean, there's a whole bunch of celebrities going bald, embracing the bald. And it came from them having hair now to not having hair, like The Rock. Yeah, that's kind of like, my number one inspiration right there. He used to have like the whole slick back look. I was trying to be like him, and then he went bald, and I was like, damn, he's going through what I'm going through.
Yeah, man. Like I agree with you 100%, man. We see a lot of celebrities go through it and embrace it. And
Yeah,
like I'm starting to see a ton of homies, go through it and embrace it. And we built this, this platform and this brand because, personally, I dealt with a decent amount of anxiety and embarrassment around it.
yeah,
I was normally a very confident person. Anybody that know me growing up is like, yo,
yeah,
I had confidence. So when I got hit with that and I was feeling that way, it shook me. I never felt that way before. And when I
yeah.
finally got over it, I was like, nah, like there needs to be something to help guys get through this. Cause they know if I went through it like that, I know other guys
Oh
really
yeah,
struggling. But it feels like a perfect time though, because again, I feel like, people was kind of like we starting to peep, like, yo,
yeah,
we outside.
yeah. Exactly.
I love it, bro. I love it, man. All right, we can get to the back half of this, man.
All right,
Got four final questions for you. Four final
all
questions.
right. Yeah,
Um, I'll start with this one because we just finished talking about, The Rock. We named a few people, man. Before you were Big Smooth, before I was
yeah,
able to do what I'm doing right now, there were some guys that kind of came through and made it dope, laid the foundation for us to really be bald and bold and really be proud of what we're doing right now, man. So if you had to think about it, bro, if you had to think about the four most iconic bald man who kind of set the foundation for this, name those four, bro. Give me those four guys you would say did it.
yeah. I mean, The Rock is number one in my book. He had that slick back look, then went bald. Now he's killing it. Then I would say Stone Cold. I was big into wrestling, but Stone Cold, he was Sterling Steve Austin. He had the long, pretty hair, and they just chopped it all off. Went to WWF and had that bald look.
I gotta stop you right here. I gotta stop you right here, bro. For the
Yeah,
last time. People don't say Stone Cold enough on this podcast, bro.
no,
People do not say Stone Cold enough. And like you, I was a huge wrestling fan myself, bro.
yeah,
And The Rock was a big deal, right? But to me, Stone Cold to this day was the toughest wrestler in WWE history, bro. How are you beating up your boss and giving your boss the middle finger, taking beer on the job?
right.
Stone Cold was I
You
mean,
can
bro,
never do it again.
dog, rabid Stone Cold fan. I was a rabid Stone Cold fan as a
Yeah,
kid. So I'm
nice.
so glad you called him out because they don't give him enough love, man. But all right,
Yeah.
you
Next one I say Bruce Willis. He had like the balding look in Pulp Fiction, and then kind of just went bald for it afterwards, and he's been doing his thing ever since. And then the fourth one, I don't have a fourth one. It's just the top three for me.
You got to throw your stuff up there.
I'll throw myself up there. I'm number four. Great company.
Big Smooth for sure. Okay, next question here, family, man. We talk about ball, man. We don't really, unfortunately, we only have one look. It's the best look out, but we only got one look. You know what I'm saying? We can't really switch it up. So many men will throw on hats to kind of switch up their style, whether it's the fedora, it's the dad hat, snapbacks, whatever, man. Guys will kind of ball guys will kind of throw on hats, the toboggan or Scully, to switch it up a little bit, If you do wear hats, what's your favorite or go-to type of hat, man?
Before it's just the regular cap, like straight brim, no snapback, nothing like
Fit
that.
it?
The fitted, yeah. So I see I haven't even worn one in so long. But right now it's the beanie. I don't know, it just for me it just feels good. It looks good with the aesthetic I got going on. Kind of like a bigger dude with a beanie. You know, you can't go wrong with that.
But it's kind of, ain't it hot, man? How y'all wearing beanies in Cali, bro?
No. So San Diego's like a desert. So in the daytime it's hot, nighttime it's cold. It gets like 50 degrees every, even in the summertime.
Oh,
So
wow.
at nighttime I gotta, put something on. If not, I'm gonna catch a cold.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, the beanie, man, gotta love it, gotta
Yeah,
love it. Two final questions here, man, and
yeah,
obviously my favorite two questions of the entire podcast because we get a little bit deeper, man. And this is what this is for. It's fun and games to talk about your journey, share it with people because
yeah,
it's a good thing to see you rocking the ball so confident right now. But we also got to make sure that we give back to the folks watching that may
for
be
sure.
still dealing with it, right? Maybe they're still struggling with hair loss, and maybe your story is going to help them get through their situation, man. So Rolando, if you know somebody's watching this right now, they're tuning in, man, and they're dealing with hair loss, what's the best advice you could give them, family?
The best advice I would say is just go for it. It's what I was told to me. Just do it. Buy you a Bic, shave it off. You're not gonna regret it. That's it. Just do it.
Bingo, you heard the man. Just come home, man. Ain't
Yep.
no need to be running, ain't no need to be hiding. And we think it's cool that it's called come home because home is a place where you can be comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can be yourself. You ain't trying to hide nothing. And when you're dealing with that hair loss and you wearing the hats and you kind of like like I said, I remember when I used to be sitting down trying to hide my bald spot. Walk by me, I'd be, oh my
Yeah.
god, it's just a lot to do, man, and it's stressful, bro, man. But
Oh yeah.
come on home, come home somewhere where you're confident, you're comfortable, and you can be yourself, man. So
Mhm.
here, my boy Rolando, man, just do it, man.
Let's
Final
do it.
question, family. Final question. Um, we talk about come home in the slang way, right? Come home, shave your head, etc. But we
Yeah.
spell it in French for the brand because in French, come home translates to English to mean like a man or as a man. And a lot
Yeah.
of guys deal with hair loss when they're going from boy to man. Like you even said, like, yo, you
Yeah.
thought, hey, like it's time for me to stop always wearing, I can't be wearing hats all the time no more. I can't be just getting the crazy lineups. But you kind of wanted to mature a bit, right?
Yep.
So it ends up being a really cool play on words for it to mean like a man or as a man, because a lot of guys deal with hair loss at that time. So when you think about it, bro, manhood, etc., what does it mean to you, dog, to be a man in 2022, family?
2022, a lot of different meanings. But
Yeah,
to what it means to me is just being honest, providing for your family or for yourself, and taking care of those around you, the people you care about. For myself, I got a daughter. She's 3 years old. Got my wife. Got my son on the way. So gonna be taking care of them and just being honest with them and communicating. That's like one of the main things because when I was shy, I wasn't telling people how I felt. I didn't feel seen. And we all want to be seen. We all want to be heard. We all want to be, we want to feel like we mean something. So um, I think that's what it means to be a man. Just be honest, be forthcoming, and take care of those around you.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's dope, man, to have a father on the podcast because I'm sure for you, obviously, like your definition of or how you think about being a man changes quite a bit from when you go from single Rolando to in a relationship Rolando to now have a family Rolando, right? Like
Yeah.
you start to see changes in how you think about what it really means to be a man as you start to provide for your family and grow your family, man. So dude,
Yeah.
again, congratulations to you for the son on the way, man. Big deal,
Thank you.
big
Thank
deal.
you.
And thank you for joining us, family. It's been another great
Of
episode,
course.
man. And before we get out of here, dog, somebody could be watching this and they want to tap in with you on social. How can they find you, man?
Yeah, find me on Instagram, Lay Smooth 782. That's Lay L-E Smooth 782. Facebook, Rolando Sanchez. I got a blue shirt on. I did some Twitch streaming, so if you still want to find me on that, I do Big Smooth Gaming with 2 G's at the end. I stream from time to time. That's about it. Those are my 3 main platforms. So thank you. I appreciate you for having me. It's been awesome. Thank you for letting me share my story.
Of course, man, bro. Is there any final words you got to say to the people? Any last words, fam?
Just, love everybody, take care of them, and be honest. That's all I want. But if you guys could do that for me, you made my day.
Bingo. We love it, man. Yo, another great episode of the Ball to Bowl podcast wrapped up. Rolando, thank you so much for joining us, giving the people game and sharing your story, man. What I need you to do for me, Rolando, is make sure the next ball guy you see out there, tell them y'all I was on this dope ass podcast by these guys called Come Home. You gotta check it out. If you know any other friends, network, ball homies in your network, definitely have them highlight. We'd love to have them on, have them share their stories. And
for sure.
As we say at the end of every single podcast episode, y'all stay bald, y'all stay bold, and we'll see y'all soon.
Peace.